A few months ago, I heard of this idea that you are not the thinker, you are not the doer, you are not the person who plays or breathes, you are the consciousness that does those things. What does this mean? This means that you do not physically move your hands around, you do not physically talk, but you are the consciousness that observes your physical body that does these things. So you separate yourself from what you do. And using this, you can easily observe your thoughts. So you are not the one thinking, you are the person observing your thoughts. So recently, I've been observing my thoughts, and I realized how negative I was. I used to think that I was invincible to anxiety. I used to read Seneca quotes. For example, he who suffers before necessary suffers more than necessary. Or we often suffer more in imagination than in reality. I used to read these thoughts and thought that didn't apply to me, because I thought that my mental health was good. I thought that I was invincible to anxiety. I thought that just because I was smiling quite frequently throughout the day, I was enjoying life. Just because I was enjoying life, I was invincible to bad thoughts. But this was clearly not the case. When I observed my thoughts, I realized that I was having quite negative thoughts at times. Sometimes I would have a heavy feeling in my heart. Why? Because I was scared, I was anxious. Because I didn't finish my work, or I thought my work was not up to standard. And this led me to think of the consequences that would bring. And instead of using the consequences as motivation to put in more work, sometimes I would use the consequences and imagine myself in scenarios where I would be verbally having a fight with someone, trying to attack their claim, trying to defend myself from the work I've produced, trying to defend the work I produced. I fell back on my articulation instead of my physical hard work, because I thought that my articulation could save me from all my troubles. It can't. Just because you're a good speaker, just because you think you can persuade people around you, doesn't make you invincible to being lazy. And that's when I realized I had to change. So to change, as I observed my thoughts, and when I came across a negative thought, I would try to replace it with a positive one. For example, sometimes in your head, you might get a negative thought about just a random person. Maybe a stranger you don't even know. You might think something bad about them. But if you recognize that you have committed such a mistake, something you can do is think about something positive about them. For example, think of something you're grateful for them. Think of something you are grateful for that they did. Even if they are a stranger. It seems hard. It can seem hard at first. But being grateful and replacing your negative thoughts with grateful thoughts is quite a way to enjoy your life. Now, observing your thoughts can not only increase the quality of your life, it can also act as a way of meditation. Because for meditation, in the middle of the day, you can realize that you are not being present and just breathe in and breathe out, and then you become present. It's the same thing with observing your thoughts. As soon as you observe a bad thought, you can immediately replace it with a good one, and that serves as one repetition of meditation. So, a really quick exercise for this video, a quick takeaway, is that start observing your thoughts. Treat it like meditation. Observe your thoughts. Actually, observe your breathing first, and then you'll start thinking, your mind will start wandering. And as soon as it wanders and you realize that it wanders, then you can think about the thought patterns you had. You can think about how you got to your current thought. You can backtrack and see what thought led to what thought and led to another thought. This would allow you to see what thoughts trigger you to think of negative thoughts and what triggers you to think of positive thoughts. If you observe your thoughts, soon enough you'll become more mindful and start thinking of more positive thoughts. And when you start thinking of positive thoughts, your life will become so much better. So, observe your thoughts and like and subscribe if it helped. Bye bye.